Okay, so I'm going to go over with you guys how to add value to your artwork. This is going to work for whatever assignment you might be doing. This is particularly for the 6th grade assignment with our echo lines. Remember, I titled our the main category as value in lines, okay? So before you start this, you should have your paper filled with your echoing lines, okay? I'm going to continue on my practice paper because it's a good idea to practice and know what it is that we're going to do before we do it on our white paper. So I'm going to move the camera down, and without further ado, let's look at the element of value. Okay, the element of value is how dark or light a color is. So if the element of value is how dark or light a color is, you can already see that I've already began to incorporate some value into my artwork. All right. There's 3 different values of blue. There's 3 different values of green. I just picked a color for each class period. I just picked them, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my lightest value. I always like to start light because with the colored pencils, I can always build up my color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one spot, and I'm going to lightly color in very neatly. As you can see, I know you can't really see the color because it is a light value, but you can see what I'm doing while I'm coloring. All right, I'm making little oval shapes that are very, very, very close together, so the color is nice and compact, and it's not creating a bunch of lines because I'm coloring with ovals and they're overlapping each other, and so therefore it's reducing that line quality that we sometimes get when we use colored pencils, okay? And that just takes a lot of practice, and there are different ways that you can kind of get rid of those lines that we have when we color, but this is just an easy one that I found that works pretty well for what I want to do. There's something on the table. So I'm just going to keep coloring and fill it in. All right, I am not pressing significantly hard on my colored pencil. My hand is not hurting. This has only taken me, I don't know, maybe a minute, 45 seconds to fill this in. All right, now I know it's very hard for you to see, but there is a purple value. You might not be able to tell it's the color purple so well, but you can see that there is definitely a difference between an uncolored area and the colored area, okay? Now I can see the purple and I know that it's purple. So that is my light value, all right? Now I'm gonna go with a medium, okay? So basically I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm going to come over here to this middle one, and I'm going to make it medium. So I'm going to go over it like twice, all right? So again, about the same amount of pressure, the same exact thing. And depending on how long your line is or what part you're coloring will kind of depend on how long this takes. But if you're doing it slowly and not in a dawdling, I'm going to make this take forever way, but just in a very I'm going to do the best that I can, therefore I'm going to concentrate on what I'm doing, in which case you may or may not be able to talk. I had to figure out how to explain what I was doing, and then I had to practice talking while I was doing it. That took me a lot of practice to be able to speak while I was doing an activity like this. So you might not be able to. You might have to focus just on your coloring. Okay, this is about the same value as this one. So I want to make this one darker. Okay, because I want to have a light purple, a medium purple, and a dark purple. But again, my hand does not hurt. I am not pressing down super hard on the colored pencil. As you can see, my colored pencil hasn't even really needed to be sharpened, although it had a pretty good amount of sharpness to it to begin with. I'm going to add a second layer. I've increased my pressure maybe just a little bit, but not a significant amount. It is not causing my hand to hurt or my wrist to hurt. If your hand or wrist is hurting while coloring and you don't have a prior injury to picking up the colored pencil or the pencil, then you're probably putting way too much force onto the colored pencil, and it's not necessary, okay? We can build up colors by adding more layers, not necessarily needing to add a significant quantity of pressure. All right, so this one, in my opinion, looks very purple now, whereas this one doesn't necessarily look as purple on the screen. So I have light, I have medium. Now I'm going to make a dark. Do you have to color it exactly like I have? No, I'm just showing you in 3 different areas so you can easily see. All right, so for my dark one, I'm still going to start off the same way I did with this one. I like to start off light. Why, Miss Brocade, do you like to start off light? I like to start off light because I can always make my color darker. It is a lot harder to go back and try to make a color lighter. It's not impossible, but that involves an eraser, and some of you don't like to erase things, and it doesn't always work as well as we would like it to, okay? So, I start off with light colors because I can always go back and add layers to them. Okay, for a dark color, if I'm trying to get a darker value, I usually end up going over the color about 3 times, I would say, or more, really depending on what the color is. This paper, because it has it's the manila paper and it has the tan color to it already, to try to get the darker values, I usually end up needing to go over it a little bit more than I do on the white paper. It just is a lot easier to turn the colors dark. Not that it's an impossibility to turn the colors dark on the practice paper, but it just takes a little bit more because the color behind it, trying to get it to really stand out. Okay, so I'm doing this neatly. I'm not scribbling. And I stopped talking because, well, I don't necessarily have anything to say, but you can see what I'm doing. Okay, still about medium. I need it a little bit darker, so I'm going to go over it for a 3rd time. My goal is to keep this little video under 10 minutes for you, and I'm at 8 right now, so speed it up a little bit. Alrighty. So, how many colors do I have to use? It's completely up to you. How can I use just one color? Sure you can. By using the element of value, you can use one color and use light, medium, dark, and things that fall in between those areas of light, medium, dark, and you could totally make this one color. That would be called monochromatic. Alright? You could use warm colors, you could use cool colors, you could use every single color you have available to you as long as you've got light, medium, and dark. Okay? Do you have to have light, medium, dark of each color? No. You could have, you know, a variety of each color having its own, you know, quantity of shades. You don't have to have light, medium, and dark of each color. So, the element of value. How dark or light a color is. Alright? And that purple there really looks blue. It's purple. The color pencil says it is, but it softly looks blue on the screen. But it's purple. But it doesn't really matter because we're working on the element of value. Alright? If you have any questions, send me an email. Watch the video a second time. See if you catch anything. Okay?